there, fan and eager listener. Welcome back to another episode of our monthly Roll Top crafting table. I'm Greg. You probably recognize me, maybe, from playing in the City of Mist campaign and GMing for the Curse of the Crimson Throne campaign. Today, I'm here to walk you through character creation for Call of Cthulhu using the Charactermancer tool on Roll20. One thing, please forgive me if I look off to the side over here because I have a second screen I might reference. Anyway, welcome to Call of Cthulhu Charactermancer on Roll20. So pretty soon, maybe not Season 2, but Season 3 of Roll Top Realms, or maybe in the future. I'm not sure when. Really hoping to either run Call of Cthulhu or be a player at Call of Cthulhu. I've run Call of Cthulhu many times before, but I've never been a player, so I'm really looking forward to being able to play. But I'm putting this together for those out there who want to know how to create a character on Roll20 and using the tools on Roll20 because they're actually pretty good. Alright, so as the GM or keeper running the game, you're going to have access to the journal tab, and so you'll click on add on the journal tab and you're going to add a character. So you'll have this screen here. This should look familiar. I've done this before. If not, just toy around with it. It's in the journal tab up in the top right corner, and we're going to name it. I'm just going to name it Test. It's not right, it's Test. Okay. And as the keeper, you're going to want to keep this in all players' journals. All players can see it. You can make it unique to a single player if you want. I just think for ease of access for everybody, it's just better to have it on all players. Can be edited. I mean, you could put all players. You could specify a single player. For right now, I'm just going to put all players. Alright, and we're going to hit Save Changes. So the next screen you're going to see is the Charactermancer option. Just a little bit. Okay. So you can see that. Okay. So you're going to see this screen. You're going to be given the option of how to make this character. Do you want to use Charactermancer? Do you want to create an NPC? I will cover that in another video in the future. Or do you want to edit this sheet directly? Since my players or the group, most of them have, I'm the only one who's played Call of Cthulhu before. So for ease of facilitating the creation of characters, we're going to use the Charactermancer tool. So I'm going to click Charactermancer. And you're going to see this screen next. It says, Welcome to Call of Cthulhu Charactermancer. You'll see the next button at the bottom. Go ahead and click that. Okay. Now, it's going to help if you have the Keeper rulebook. Very useful tool. You can get it on PDF on the Chaosium website. You can get it a hard copy through them or on Amazon, whatever you prefer, or in your friendly local game store, whichever. So, in creating the Investigators chapter 3 of the Keeper rulebook, it's going to go through the steps. This is basic. This tool, the Charactermancer tool, basically goes through all those steps and does all the calculations for you. I will give a brief summary of how they derive the calculations and all that stuff, or the numbers and the calculations that they use, but it's really simple addition and division kind of things. Just like if you have experience with other role-playing games, there's different ways to generate your ability scores or your attributes. In Call of Cthulhu, they're called characteristics. So in Call of Cthulhu, you have strength, dexterity, power, constitution, appearance, education, size, intelligence, and luck. There's different ways to go about assigning numbers to these values. You can do the standard, which is to roll all. I'll demonstrate. You can see it automatically, when I clicked roll all, it automatically generated, and I can see in my window here that my big face is covering that up. So I'll just move this over. Hopefully that's a little bit better. You can also do point buy. So point buy, you have a starting pool of 325, and your characteristics already have a number assigned to them starting at 15. What this number means is basically, for example, strength. Score of 15 is considered puny or weak. You can assign numbers to this and then roll for luck. Quickfire is that looks ugly on the screen. Let me just increase the size just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so increasing the size just a little bit, you can see that there is 40 through 80, and so you want your character to be really strong. So you'd select 80. I'm not going to go into the mechanics of Call of Cthulhu right this second, so just know that you got to roll under this particular number using a D100. That's it for now. Constitution. Now see, if I try to hit 80 for Constitution, it's not going to let me. So you can only select one of these numbers for each of your characteristics. Oops. And then you roll for your luck. But I think it's fun to roll randomly. So you roll randomly, and you can continue to hit roll randomly however many times you want. Maybe if you're going to be the keeper, maybe you set a certain number of rerolls that you're going to allow your players to do. Maybe you'll do 3 rerolls, and whatever the last reroll is, well, that's it. So I have my numbers here. I'm going to hit next. Another thing I'd recommend doing is keeping a hard copy or an editable PDF of your character sheet to the side and transcribing as we go, because if you don't, and for some reason it doesn't save everything, at least you have a backup copy. So better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right? Excuse me. Apple juice. Okay. So if you missed that, go back. Let me take this down just a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Okay. So this is the stats tab. We're going to hit next. And we're going to this page here has a brief on the side here. It says how to play Call of Cthulhu. Investigator sheet. Again, it's suggesting to record all this information on your investigator sheet. I'm not going to show you how to do that, but your GM or your keeper will walk you through that process while you're playing the game, I hope. Alright, so now age. Age actually makes a difference for you in Call of Cthulhu rather than, maybe other role-playing games you've played, namely D20, games you've played in the past. Each age bracket changes what sort of characteristics you might have in your character. For example, let's say you want to play a 50-year-old. So let's say I put 50 here and enter. Okay, no, it's not going to let me do that. So we'll just roll randomly. Okay, 27. Excuse me, sorry. Spoke too soon. Age 27. When you hit this you see this D20 symbol here. When you hit that, it will give you a random one. Alright, so the first one was 27, and it says in the book, page 32, 20 to 39 years old, make an improvement check based on your education. Your education is 55. You roll a D100, and you need to roll higher than a 55, and if you do, you may increase your points that you'll allocate and use later by 1d10. That doesn't make sense? We will get there. Hang on. Okay, so again, back down to age, I hit reroll, and it gave me age 16. Now you can see that it says characteristic deduction. That means that because of my age, I'm going to get some penalties based on that age. So I have to deduct a total of 5 points among strength and size, meaning that because of my age, I might be a little smaller than an adult, and I might be a little less strong than an adult. And the total needs to be no greater than 5. So we'll put 3 there and 2 there, and the total must equal 5. Another deduction, it reduces the education by 5. And then, but you get a stat reroll to generate more luck, because being young, you have your whole life ahead of you, so you're super duper lucky, right? Maybe, who knows? Depends on life choices, right? All right, so I'm gonna reroll again. There's 22. Let's try again. 54. Okay, I like that age. It's closer to my age, I know, but it's okay. Wear it well. All right, so it says here, age 54 in the book, again, page 32, make 3 improvement checks for education, deduct 10 points among strength, con, or dexterity, because old, and reduce your appearance by 15. Hey, that's not fair, because, I think I'm pretty good. I think I look pretty good for this age range. Okay, so make an improvement check based on education. So I'm going to click this roll button, and it's going to generate it in the chat menu, which you can't see, but it's a failure. You can see this little X here. It means I rolled less than my education, and so it's a failure. I do not get to add any improvements based on that roll. I got a second one. Let me try again. Another failure. Okay, that's fine. Alright, and it says a third one. We're going to do it again. Another fail. Okay, well, so not feeling lucky today. Let's see. Okay, let's see. We have a total of 10 points to deduct amongst these two. Alright. So, let's say I'm going to base my character off of me. Okay, I'm not as strong as I was about 10 years ago. That's fine. But you know what? My constitution's pretty good. Maybe less than, I'm going to leave my constitution the same. My dex, okay. I'm not as nimble as I used to be. So, minus 10 points. Ah, shit. Okay. Let's just divide these up as evenly as possible. We'll do 4 on this one. We'll do 3 on this one. We'll do 3 on this one. There. Total 10. And we reduce the appearance by 10. Okay, that's fine. Alright. So these numbers down here, secondary characteristics. These are found on page between 32 and 33 of the Keeper's Rulebook. Your damage bonus is based on your size plus your strength. So if we go up here, strength 42 and size 65, we're looking at somewhere between, 100 and 105 or 7. Anyway, it is between 85 and 24 if we look at the reference table on page 33. And it says here damage bonus is going to be none. So that's why the damage bonus here is listed as 0, because we don't get a damage bonus. And additionally, our build is 0. That's basically maybe about how big we are size-wise. Our hit points get calculated by adding your constitution and your size and then dividing by 10. So if we go up constitution 32, then your size, which is adding your size, which is 65, you get 97. 97 divided by 10, rounding down, rounded up. I'm not going to argue for an extra point. So dividing by 10, and you get 9.7. I guess they're rounded up. So lucky us, we got 10 hit points. Sanity. Page 31 of chapter 3. Sanity is equal to your power. So you go up, and power is 35. That's one of the rolls that we got randomly. So our sanity is going to be 35. Magic points is equal to 1/5 of your power. So our power is 35. So 1/5 of that is going to be 7. That's how we generate our magic points. This is if you haven't played Call of Cthulhu before, it's pretty low magic. If you're encountering magic, it's probably going to be a bad day for both the caster and who is ever on the receiving end. Your movement rate is going to be derived from so its movement rate is the number of yards or meters up to 5 times the move value. That's how many meters or yards you can move in your turn. So where do we get the number 5 from? Well, if both your dex and your strength are less than the size, so going up again. So if your my dex is 36 and my strength is 42, both of those numbers are less than my size. Therefore, my move is 7. If those numbers were different, then it would change my movement. Size 65. Okay, I'm a little bit bigger than average, but that's okay. Maybe it's all muscle. Anyway, moving forward. All these were generated, so we're going to hit next. Okay, so now we're choosing an occupation. Alright, so these are the occupations that are available through the Charactermancer: antiquarian, author, dilettante, doctor of medicine, journalist, police detective, private investigator, professor, or custom. So let's say one of your players, or you want to play, an occupation that's not listed, right? Let's see. Let's pick one that wasn't on there. I didn't see soldier on there. So let's say you want to play a soldier. You're going to hit custom. Okay. Now going through a custom occupation, you're going to need this book. Can you see it? Okay, yeah. Keeper's Rulebook. There's a nice list of occupations that are in the book. Soldiers on page 41. And we'll just go through this. So, skill points. For a soldier, your skill points are going to be 2 times your education. So we're going to go back to the stats page. Our education is 60. 2 times 60 is 120. Let's write that number down because we're gonna need to reference it later. That's 120, right? Okay. Plus either your dex times 2 or your strength times 2. So let's look at this former soldier. He's in his 50s. His dex is 40, his strength is 45, Maybe he wants to rely more on his strength rather than his dexterity at this age, right? So 2 times 45 is 90. 90 plus 120, you're going to get 210. Hope you did math right. Otherwise, that makes me look pretty dumb. That's okay. Not the first time. I'll be fine. I'll survive. Okay, so we go back to occupation. Still there. We're going to put 210. And according to the book, soldier has a credit rating of a minimum of 9. And a max of 30. Again, I'm not going to get too much into the mechanics of how these numbers work, but let's just say that's slightly below average. Next, there's certain skills associated with each occupation. Since this is a custom occupation that we're adding, we're going to add each individual skill. So we can add them one at a time, or we can add a few. I'm just going to add a few because I know there's at least 4 or 5 to add. So the first one that we've added, choose a skill. We're going to select choose, and a drop-down menu appears, and we see climb or swim. Maybe this guy's former Navy, so we'll put swim. Dodge, alright, is the next one. So we'll find dodge on here and select dodge. And then the third one, fighting. So we'll find fighting. It has a specialization. We don't need to really put anything here, but we can put basic combat. Basic hand-to-hand. Let's see. Fighting firearms, so we'll find firearms on the list, and you can see as I select them, the ones I've selected already, they are red, highlighted red, so we can't select them again. Can't double up. Alright, so we're going to go to firearms, and we'll just put basic firearm use. Okay. So see, I've run out of skills to add, so I'll just hit add skill again. Okay. So let's see. Stealth. All right. We'll hit stealth, and we'll add another couple more because I know we got some more on here. Survival. Because we all learn survival at basic survival techniques. So we're gonna hit survival, and we'll put basic survival. Basic survival. And let's see. There's one more here. We can choose 2 more. Okay, so I'll add 1 more. Okay, so after stealth, and survival, add 2 of the following, either first aid, mechanical repair, or another language. You know what? I'm just going to keep with first aid and mechanical repair. So we'll do first aid, and the last one, mechanical repair. Find that on the list, somewhere in alphabetical order. Here we go. And that's it. Going off of what was in the Keeper's rulebook. We're done adding our skills. We're going to go to next, where we're allocating our points to our associated skills. You can see that there are several columns here. The first column on the left says skill, and there's the name of the skill. Your base and your occupation. So these are the base, your starting point. Your occupation points are based on where you can assign from your occupation the skill that you, the amount of skill that you learned based on what your occupation was. And then you have a pool of skill points from your personal interest that was based off of based off of your rolls in the beginning. So the formula to calculate your personal interest skill points is your intellect times 2. And so if we go back to our stats, our intellect was 60, so that's 120. So that's where we derive this 120. Now, so now obviously the ones that you have from that line up with your personal and your occupation, you can add more points to it. So let's start with this first one with 2 boxes, your credit rating. Our max credit rating is 30. Let's try to max that out. So we already have 9 points in there. Let's use our personal pool. And so let's put in let's keep it at, let's try to get a little bit more. 22. There we go, 21. And you can see when I put 21 in there, it decreased the amount of points left in the personal interest pool points. It's a mouthful. It decreased the points. So I have 99 remaining. Dodge. Let's say, he has some dodge left from his training, and maybe we'll put in 20 more here. So he's got a dodge of 68. Mechanical repair, we selected, might as well put some points in it. We'll do 20 and 20. Let's do this is one. Maybe he wants to, or maybe he remembers a few things from his old days. So there, swim. Yeah, let's give him some swim points. He likes to stay active in his old age. Let's say basic hand to hand. Let's do 30, and we'll do 10. Handgun, maybe he has maybe he's got some proficiency in a handgun, so we'll do or some kind of firearm, generalized firearm use. So let's do 59 there, and we have 51 points left. Let's see, where else can we put them? All right, first aid. Yeah, he paid attention in that ttrpg class. Let's put 30 points there. And we got 21 points remaining. Languages. If he was a sailor, he's probably been around a little bit. So let's give him. Oh, I can't. We're out of points there. Okay. Basic survival. All right, let's put 21 points there. All right. So we've used up all our skill points. What we do next? Hit the next button right here. Next. Okay. So this is something I noticed about Charactermancer. These buttons don't work. These drop downs don't work, but that's okay. Something I did was I took some snips from my PDF of the Keeper's Rulebook, and so I'm going to reference these now. Let's see. Page 40. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, you're going to switch? Maybe? Okay, yeah. It's the right page. Alright, I'm just going to move this over here. Okay. Down a little bit. Alright, it's going to be hard to read, but just know that there are numbers and words there. This is just a reference document. You're going to find all this information in the Keeper's Rulebook. Probably the most important book for either player or GM to have is the Keeper's Rulebook. It is the quintessential core rulebook for this game system. You can get the player's rulebook, but the keeper's rulebook is like your best value. Okay, so how do we generate your ideology and beliefs? You can have the player, you or the player, or both can work together to figure out how it fits in with whatever scenario you're going to run. The book suggests that you roll randomly for these things. So so a D10, a D10, and then on the next page, it just continues. You know, personal connection, how they might be connected to you. You can pick and choose from these. Not going to get into too much detail about these. And that's really it. Treasured possession. And then that's it. And then it goes into equipping the investigator, which is things that probably should have looked at before. Okay, so the final step, equipping your investigator. Cash and assets is on page 47 of the Keeper's Rulebook. We'll need to know, after you fill out all this, go back to our skills, and we'll find our credit rating is right here at an 18. A total 18. Oh, because the max you can... No, it's 30. What is happening there? Okay, yeah, 30. So on page 47, there's a table that tells you credit rating to cash to assets to your spending level. So for 18 is going to be average. Your cash on hand is going to be your credit rating times 2. So 30 times 2, $60 is 60. So that's $60 cash you have. Your assets, your total assets, is going to be your CR times 50. So in this case, you got 30 times 50 is going to be $1,500 in total assets. So you got a total of $1,500 in total assets. Your spending limit is going to be $10. It's $10 per day. Depending on, now this is taking into consideration, or the assumption, that you're playing in a 1920s campaign. So $10 per day is a lot in 1920s money. So if you're playing in a modern campaign or a later date, like a 40s and during the Depression, then $10 is going to be even more than it was in 1920. So that's something as a keeper or as a player, work with your keeper on, what the spending limit should be. And based on that, you can find a table of things, of equipment. Let me see what page that is on. 1920 is equipment, through page 396. So on page 396 of the Keeper's Rulebook, you got divides it into actual times, like eras. So you got 1920s. Let's stick with 1920s. How much does a suit cost? A leather belt, $1.35. So all these would be deducted by, you would deduct this from your assets and things like that. They have men's clothing, women's clothing. How much do meals out cost? Lodging, medical equipment, tools, transports, investigator tools. Just depending on, and this is something that I would personally just hand wave, especially like starting the game, like session 0. Like, what kind of equipment do you think your character would need? And if it's within reason, sure. If it's outside of that, you're gonna have to convince the keeper. Like, for example, you want a gun. Well, guns were very expensive in the 1920s, and there were a lot more strenuous laws back then. So, say you're depending on where you were living. So, like, if you're running a campaign that takes place or a scenario that takes place in the Northeast, not many people had guns. The only people who had guns were like law enforcement, military members, and gangsters. The average person couldn't easily get a hold of a gun. And so that's something to keep in mind. But this person, being a former soldier, he probably has held on to, maybe he held on to his firearm. So again, work that in with your character, communicate with your keeper, and have some fun with it. So that was pretty quick. I don't think that took very long. Yeah, I did that in like 30 minutes. So hopefully you found this insightful and moderately entertaining. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Please give me a subscribe. Please comment. Tell me if I messed up. Tell me if I did good. But let me know how we're doing. And give us a follow on Instagram, on the grams. We post pretty regularly. We're putting out a lot of content. Like a lot of content. We got 4 shows. We got Roll Top Realms, the seasons, where each season we're going to be playing through some kind of starter scenario or box for various different RPG systems. We have Rolling Over, where we kind of like post-game discuss, our thoughts on the mechanics of the systems, things like that, that we're playing in conjunction. So pretty much like one day, on Mondays, we post our Roll Top Realms, the seasons, and then on Wednesdays we post the Rolling Over, where we discuss the previous session. It's pretty short episodes, like maybe 15-20 minutes, maybe tops 30, maybe 30 minutes on those. And then we have Curse of the Crimson Throne campaign, which is a Pathfinder campaign that I've homebrewed into 5th edition. Me and my friends have been playing that for almost 2 years now. We are in book 4. And actually, we're almost done with book 4. And we'll be moving to book 5 soon. So we're almost done with that. Thank you. Because I can't wait to move on to the next project. I'm not sure what that is yet. Gotta figure it out, but I'm pretty sure I have some time on that. What else? Oh, and then we have this. So like once a month, maybe more if I feel inspired, I will create these Roll Top Realm crafting table episodes where I come up with something, GM, DM, Keeper, MC, whatever, running game tips, maybe using Roll20 tips, things like that. Things that I've noticed, hurdles I've had to overcome while running maybe a game on Roll20, something that I didn't consider, something that I had to troubleshoot with my players. So lots of ideas floating out there between me and my friends. And so lots of stuff I can post to, but probably no more than twice a month on this topic sort of stuff, on the crafting table. So lots of stuff out there. So please, like, subscribe, give us a comment, tell us how we're doing, give us a like, and yeah. Oh, and Casey has got stickers that he made. Casey is a professional tattoo artist. Maybe if you noticed all his tattoos, he's a professional tattoo artist. He has designed some stickers, and there are some rules on how to get some free stickers on our Instagram page. So head over there and yeah, find out what to do to get those free stickers, and we'll send them right to you. I guess that's it for now. We'll chat later. All right, bye.